Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Pinkie!
Yay!
Happy birthday, sis! And if you happen to share your birthday with my sister of July 18th, these things all happen on your birthday. In the year 64, yeah, that's how far back we're going on this one. The year 64, the Great Fire of Rome begins under Emperor Nero.
Oh. Is there a Nero bar? Is that a candy bar?
There's a Zero bar.
I think there's a Nero bar. Alexa, is there a Nero bar? I asked it too fast. She won't understand.
Okay. In 1743, the first half-page newspaper ad is published in the New York Weekly Journal. In 1766, the Society of the Dutch Literary forms. In 1768, Boston Gazette publishes Liberty Song, America's first patriotic song.
Oh.
In 1801, the HMS Investigator sets off on a voyage to determine if New Holland, Australia, is one island or two, under command of Matthew Flinders, with botanist Robert Brown and artist Ferdinand Bauer and William Westall aboard.
Stupid, sexy Flinders.
In 1864, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln asked for 500,000 volunteers for military service.
Only 500,000?
Yeah, that was a lot back then, I guess.
There's a statue of him in my hometown.
Really?
With Grace Bedell.
Wow. Oh, yeah, that's right. You did tell me that about his beard, right?
Yeah. Supposedly where, I don't know. I heard that the story is dubious in origin.
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
Supposedly happened in my hometown, and there's a statue
It's an
erected.
urban legend.
Yeah.
But yeah, the little girl said he looked good with a beard.
And he's like, okay.
In 1870, Pope Pius IX and the First Vatican Council officially proclaimed the concept of papal infallibility.
Which is... I probably shouldn't say. Okay, listen. You can believe what you want about religious things, but at one point, and I don't know if it's still true, but supposedly at one point, they believed not only was he infallible, but his body would not rot in death.
Wow.
Which led to hilarious consequences.
Of course. Next, 1872, the Ballot Act introduces the secret ballot in elections in Britain. Previously, votes were made openly. In 1882, Louisville Tony Mullane is first to pitch righty, then lefty.
Ah.
In 1892, the first human test of a vaccine against cholera, Ukrainian bacteriologist Waldemar Hufkeen risks his life by testing it on himself.
Wow, that's dedication.
Indeed. In 1907, French troops occupy Casablanca.
Oh, that's a movie.
Yes, it is also a place in Morocco. And it also means White House in Spanish.
Oh, it does.
In 1913, after 68 straight innings, Christy Mathewson gives up a walk. Couldn't have gone one more inning, huh? In 1914, Gandhi leaves South Africa after successfully leading campaigns of passive resistance. As well as Major League Baseball's Boston Braves start miracle move from the last place to become the World Series champs.
Wow, Boston.
Yes. In 1921, Babe Ruth achieves 139 home runs with a Major League Baseball record of 575 feet hit to become the all-time home run leader in Major League Baseball, taking the title from Roger Connor. Never heard of that guy.
I've heard of
Babe Ruth is somebody I'm sure everybody's heard of.
Oh, yeah. They have that delicious candy bar.
Indeed.
Which I haven't had in a long time.
Next, in 1925, this is a bit of a controversial one, but I decided to leave it in. Adolf Hitler publishes Mein Kampf. Original title was the catchy 4.5 years of struggle against lies, stupidity, and cowardice. Gee, I wonder why he didn't keep that one.
Yeah.
If only he just stuck to being an author. In 1927, Ty Cobb's 4,000th Major League Baseball career hit. 4,000. In 1931, the first air-conditioned ship in Mariposa is launched.
No, that was the name of the ship.
Was that the name of the ship?
Yeah, Mariposa.
Oh.
I don't know. That's what the factoid says there.
It doesn't? Okay.
Oh, I may have ruined this.
Maybe. In 1932, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Netherlands signed Ouchie Convention, a customs treaty.
They must have bumped their knee or scraped their knee.
Also that year, U.S. and Canada signed a treaty to develop the St. Lawrence Seaway.
Neat.
In 1935, Amsterdam City Council accepts city growth plan through the year 2000.
Oh, wild. You know that we live in New Amsterdam.
Yes, that is true. In 1938, Douglas Wrongway Corrigan arrives in Ireland aboard the Sunshine after a 28-hour flight. Supposedly left New York flying for California. He was trying to go from New York to California and ended up all the way in Ireland.
That is amazing. He should have made a left turn at Albuquerque.
It's like, did you not realize you were flying over a body of water for almost 28 hours there?
He's like Roanoke Zora.
Yes, he absolutely is.
He's going in a straight line and still somehow manages to get completely and hopelessly lost.
1940, Democratic Convention nominates Franklin Delano Roosevelt for historic third term.
I did an audiobook about FDR.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it about his third term?
No, it was about his death.
Oh, after his third term.
I guess it would be during, right?
Really? Did he die in office? I'm actually not sure.
You know, I read the book and I narrated the book and I don't remember. I'm terrible.
Yeah, we're both terrible. That's fine. Next, in 1947, U.S. President Harry Truman signs the Presidential Succession Act. I really should have looked into what that was. In 1951, Jersey Joe Walcott KOs Ezzard Charles in 7 rounds, becoming at age 37 the then oldest world heavyweight champion.
Wow. Yeah, 37 is kind of old for sports nowadays, so I can't imagine back then when the life expectancy was probably a little less.
I could definitely not see myself being able to compete with people much younger at something like that.
There are people literally half that age that are competing in sports, or almost half that age.
Yeah.
Competing in professional sports. You could keep up to a degree.
Yeah, 18, 19.
But they can take bumps like nothing, and you can't when you're that age. But impressive, makes it even more impressive.
Yes, I guess it just shows that he had so much skill that he was able to surpass or get past the age barrier. Yeah. Anyhow, in 1953, another person you've done audiobooks on, Elvis Presley pays $3.98 to make his first demo. At Sun Studio in Memphis, records My Happiness and That's When Your Heartache Begins. Reportedly gives the record to his mother as their belated birthday present.
Yeah, he was blonde.
Happy birthday, Elvis's mom, as well.
Indeed.
Although, I guess that does mean it. Well, belated, so it would have been past this date. Would have been funny, though, if Elvis's mom could have been on the birthday list there. In 1965, Zond 3 launches to fly by the moon and enters solar orbit. In 1966, Carl Sagan turns 1 billion seconds old.
Neat.
Billions and billions. He's the guy who's famous for saying that. Also, Gemini 10 launches John Young and Michael Collins. In 1967, silver hits a record $1.87 an ounce in New York.
Neat.
In 1968, the Intel Corporation is founded in Santa Clara, California.
Ah, yes. Still popular today.
In 1970, Willie Mays becomes the 10th baseball player to get 3,000 hits.
Willie Mays here. We've got a product for you.
It's a different guy. It's Billy Mays.
Hey.
That's why he went by Billy Mays, apparently, I would presume. Also, Ron Hunt gets hit by a pitch for a record 119th time.
Wow, he is always standing in the wrong place. Do you think maybe he did it on purpose?
I do not know. That is a hard call.
I do not know.
In 1976, Nadia Comaneci, age 14, becomes the first gymnastic in Olympic Games history to score a perfect 10 score, doing so 7 times at the Montreal Games. Wonder how many people have done it since. I would imagine not a whole lot. In 1977, Vietnam becomes a member of the UN. In 1979, gold hits a record $303.85 an ounce in London. In 1980, Billy Joel's Glass Houses album tops the U.S. charts featuring It's Still Rock and Roll to Me.
May sound funny, but it's still rock and roll to me.
As well as a federal court voids Selective Service Act, as it doesn't include women. And Rohini 1, the first Indian satellite, launches into orbit. So it took until 1980 for India to get into the space race.
They actually just put something on the moon, too, recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
As of last year, then, huh?
Yeah. Like a couple
2023?
of days ago. Yeah. It was very recently. I think it was days ago, maybe weeks ago. I don't know.
In 2023, you mean?
In whatever year. You know what? Now that I think of it, you're right.
Yeah. Next, in 1984, former Vice President Walter Mondale, under Jimmy Carter, wins the Democratic Party presidential nomination in San Francisco.
I hope he brought a dish to pass. For the party.
Oh, okay. In 1986, good year, videotapes released showing Titanic's sunken remains, inspiring James Cameron to make a movie. I would presume.
Remember that thing that happened in 2023? When they were trying to look at the...
Oh, man. That
was
so
a
silly.
crazy time in that year, so long ago, in 2023.
Yeah. Pretty sure it was like a year ago today, almost. Something like that. Anyhow, in 1987, Molly Yard is elected new president of the National Organization for Women. As well as the New York Yanks, Don Mattingly ties the record for home runs in 8 consecutive games.
Wow, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Don Mattingly?
Yeah, been a spell.
In 1988, the shooting begins on James Bond film License to Kill.
With Pierce Brosnan.
No.
No?
No.
Pierce
Brosnan's first one was GoldenEye.
Really?
In the 90s.
License to Kill with Timothy Dalton.
There you go.
Yay! I got my memory to work right.
Next, in 1991, Florida Marlins logo is unveiled.
Was it a Marlin?
I believe so. Kind of hard to believe it's only been since 91 since the Florida Marlins had a logo. In 1994, Kiss from a Rose, released by Seal, the Grammy Record of the Year and Song of the Year, is released.
Amazing. I remember they were playing that song a lot when I was in the Philippines in 95.
I want to say that 95? Song was on one of the Batman movie soundtracks?
Yes, it was on
Batman Forever?
Batman, I want to say it's Batman Forever?
Was it? Okay.
And it was not actually in the movie.
It was in the credits.
Yeah, it played during the credits. And there was another song in it that played only in the credits. I think it was the U2 song "Kiss Me, Kill Me, Hold Me, Thrill Me."
I have that.
Yeah, and it's I think is it the same movie? But yeah, it only plays during the credits, and
it might have been the
Batman
Returns.
It might not have even been in the movie, but it was on the soundtrack. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then they have a little thing on the soundtrack that says "music in" and inspired by the movie, and I'm like,
All right. So let's see. Also, 1994, Comet Shoemaker Levy, largest collision with Jupiter leaves a black spot 12,000 kilometers across. It, as well as Crayola, announces introduction of scented crayons.
Oh.
So if you remember scented crayons, those came out in 1994 on this day. And as well as the New York Jets signed the USA Soccer goalkeeper Tony Meola as a place kicker. That is a football, the oblong-shaped football team signing a soccer player to their team.
Football America.
Yeah, Football Americano signing a football player. It's like, at first I wasn't sure if that was worth talking about, but when I investigated making sure the New York Jets is a pigskin football, the fact that they signed a soccer player to play football, I thought was fairly interesting. All right, so next, in 1995, Dreams from My Father, a memoir by Barack Obama, is published by Times Books. So yeah, Barack Obama was a known figure way back in the 90s. Never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
He was somebody I'd never heard of until he ran for president.
Career politician like a lot of these.
In 1999, New York Yankees David Cone becomes the 15th pitcher to throw a perfect game, 6-0 versus Montreal. And in 2008, Billy Joel performs the last of two concerts dubbed The Last Play at Shea, the final concert event before demolition of the 1964 baseball stadium in Flushing Meadows, Queens, in New York City. Featured guests include Roger Daltrey, Tony Bennett, Garth Brooks, and Paul McCartney. And in 2012, Kim Jong-un officially appointed Supreme Leader of North Korea and given the rank of Marshal in the Korean People's Army. Remember that guy? In 2013, the 46th San Diego Comic-Con International opens at San Diego Convention Center.
Someday.
As well as Detroit, Michigan files for bankruptcy, becoming the largest U.S. municipal bankruptcy ever at $18.5 billion. That's billion with a B. And then in 2015, PayPal is spun off from eBay as a separate publicly traded company on the NASDAQ.
And now they're not associated at all.
Really?
Yep, you can't get payments directly to your PayPal account anymore. They're all directly deposited.
Wow.
Unless you're like, there's certain circumstances where you can get some grandfather in
Weird
features or whatever. But yeah, they are separate entities now, almost completely.
Okay. Also, Google is fined a record of $5.1 billion by the European Union for abusing its power in mobile phone market. And yet somehow they still survived such a huge hit there, financial hit there. Also, New Earth geological age announced. The Meghalayan, age 4,200 years ago to the present, by the International Commission on Stratigraphy. I have no idea what any of that is or means, but I figured it was worth mentioning some reason. Then in 2019, children's song Baby Shark and Raining Tacos is used by City of West Palm Beach, Florida to drive away homeless people from the waterfront.
It's raining tacos all over the world. Something like that, right?
Baby Shark. But yeah, it's kind of funny. South Park did it before it happened in reality then, because I remember there was an episode where the town was overrun with homeless people and they started playing obnoxious music to try to get the homeless people out of town. So I think I think the City of West Palm Beach ripped off South Park for their idea.
Maybe. I read it's not South Park original idea, I don't believe.
Then in just last year, 2023, wildfire season in British Columbia, now most destructive on record, burning 14,100 square kilometers of land with 390 fires still alight, surpassing the 2018 record. And the city of Phoenix, Arizona breaks a 5-decade heat record, recording 19 consecutive days of temperatures at or above 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 43.3 degrees Celsius. Overnight low of 97 degrees Fahrenheit or 36.1 degrees Celsius, highest since 1989. Whew. That was a mouthful. Now, on to birthdays. So, if you happen to share your birthday with my sister, and these are the birthdays as of 2024. Starting off with Chase Crawford, who is best known as Nate Archibald on Gossip Girl and The Deep on The Boys. That's where I know him from. He turns 39.
So young.
Ryan Cabrera, lead singer for the Dallas band Rubik's Groove, before beginning a solo career. He turns 42. I mostly wanted him on here because, Rubik's.
I like Rubik's.
Yes, you do. Next, Kristen Bell, who is best known as Veronica Mars, Gossip Girl. She played Elle Bishop on Heroes, Jeannie Van der Hooven on House of Lies, Eleanor Shellstrop on The Good Place, and the woman in the house across the street from The Girl in the Window. Never heard of it, but I just thought that was a crazy title. She turns 44. Rapper MIA, she turns 49. Darren Malakian, who's from Darren Malakian and Scars on Broadway. That's actually the name of the band. And System of a Down. You've probably heard of them.
Oh, yes.
He turns 49. Wendy Williams, from the Wendy Williams Experience and host of the Wendy Williams Show. Think she's compensating for anything with putting her name in all these things?
Right off.
She turns 60. Anne-Marie Johnson, who was Althea Tibbs in The Heat of the Night. Donna Cabana in That's So Raven. And was a cast member on In Living Color. And was Nadine Hudson Thomas on What's Happening Now. She turns 64. Audrey Landers played Afton Cooper on Dallas. Charlotte Hesser on One Life to Live, and Val Clark on the film A Chorus Line in 1985, as well as Miss Audrey on the PBS show The Hugabug Club from 1995 to 1997.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I never heard of it either, but, somebody out there watching this video might have grown up watching that show and been like, whoa! So yeah, she turns 68 today. Next, Ricky Skaggs, one of the hardest working and kindest performers in country and bluegrass. I'm mostly including him because his name is fun to say. He turns 70. Wally Bryson, a guitarist of power pop group The Raspberries. He turns 75. Martha Reeves of Martha and the Vandals. She turns 83. Dion Francis DiMucci, better known simply as Dion. American singer-songwriter known for performing doo-wop, pop, rock, R&B, folk, and blues. He turns 85. Paul Verhoeven, Dutch filmmaker known for such films as Total Recall, Basic Instinct, Showgirls, Starship Troopers, Hollow Man, and a little movie, you might have heard of it, RoboCop.
I love
one of the
RoboCop.
greatest movies ever made.
Yes.
Next to Transformers, the movie.
Agreed, 100%.
He turns 86.
Oh.
Next, we have our first late person on the list, Hunter S. Thompson, founder of the Gonzo journalism movement, as well as the author of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. His book was adapted into the movie starring Johnny Depp. He was 67 when he passed away, and if he were alive today, he'd be 87. John Glenn, astronaut and third American in space, as well as the first American to orbit Earth 3 times, as well as Senator of Ohio from 1974 to 1999. He was 95 when he passed away, and if he were alive today, he'd be turning 103. Next, Nelson Mandela, South African anti-apartheid activist and politician who served as the first president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. As well as having a famous little thing named after him, the Mandela effect. If you've ever experienced something that you feel didn't always used to be that way, you're experiencing what is referred to as the Mandela effect, named after how it was long thought that he died while in prison, and yet somehow he didn't. So a lot of people seem to be under the impression...
Memories.
Yes. pretty much. But yeah, a lot of people were under the pretense that they were from a different universe where he did die in prison, and now they are in a universe where he didn't.
Yeah.
As silly as that is.
I'm from a universe where Sikanko didn't have a tail for his videos. It's crazy.
Yeah, of course. Next, he was 95 when he passed away, and if he were alive today, he'd be 106. Next, Red Skelton, comedian best known for the Red Skelton Show. He was 84 when he passed away, and if he were alive today, he'd be 111.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I forgive him for his feud with Captain America. You know.
Okay. Next, George Machine Gun Kelly. American gangster from Memphis, Tennessee, active during the Prohibition era. His nickname came from his favorite weapon, a Thompson submachine gun. His life was turned into Charles Bronson's first lead acting role in 1958, called Machine Gun Kelly, as well as the namesake of the rapper MGK. He was 54 when he passed away, and if he were alive today, he'd be 124.
Too soon.
And lastly, Margaret Molly Brown, socialite and philanthropist, posthumously known as the unsinkable Molly Brown, and portrayed by Kathy Bates in James Cameron's Titanic. She was 65 when she passed away, and if she were alive today, she would be 157 years old.
Should have eaten more vegetables. Would have gotten to meet her.
So yeah, you got something to show the camera there?
Oh, I did. I showed it, or I already showed it.
Look at that.
Yeah.
She's so good at that.
You want to see me do it on camera? I'm not very fast, but if you want to see me do it on camera...
I think you're faster than I ever could be. I can't solve those things. You're so remarkable.
You're remarkable.
Oh. So anyhow, thanks for watching. And if there's anybody on this list who has somehow passed away that I did not mention, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Wait, didn't that one guy on your list pass away already?
I hope not.
Yeah. Remember, which one was it?
It better not be Paul Vanderhoven.
He'll live forever. RoboCop 2, the real one.
Paul Verhoeven. What did I say?
Because there was rumors of a reboot with, or a direct to the original sequel that ignored all the other movies.
What other movies?
Exactly.
So anyhow, thanks for watching, and once again, happy birthday, sister! Happy birthday, Pinkie!
Bye!
And bye-bye!
Happy birthday! Actually, happy birthday, yes. Oh, I've lost the cursor again.
There
we go.
Bye! Happy birthday!